Be real. AI is absolutely everywhere. But so is the hype, right? Is it going to take all our jobs or build some kind of utopia? It's confusing. So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. This is a data-driven look at the key trends that are really shaping AI, right now and into 2026.
So, that brings us to the big question. Beyond all the crazy headlines, what is the actual impact of AI on our work, on our businesses, and yeah, on our lives? Let's just forget the sci-fi stuff for a minute. What is actually happening on the ground today?
And to answer that, we're not going to guess. No opinions, no speculation. The whole point of this explainer is to follow the hard evidence, the data from places like McKinsey, Stanford, and OpenAI to show you the trends that are actually building our future. All right, let's dive in.
Okay, first up, there is a massive shift happening with the core technology itself, the very foundation of AI. You know, the models like GPT-4 and Gemini. It's changing in a way that I think most people just don't see yet.
So, the myth, the thing we all hear, is that this is some kind of race to build the one single best model to rule them all. But the reality, it's way more interesting. The model itself is becoming a utility. Think of it like electricity or water. It's becoming less about which one you use and a lot more about what you can build with it. And here is the proof. You don't have to take my word for it. This is from artificial analysis. Just look at the performance scores for all the top models. They are all clustered together, just a few points apart. That huge quality gap we saw a year or two ago, poof, it's basically gone. Even the open source models are right there in the mix. They're all becoming really, really good. So what's driving all this? Well, a huge part of the answer is this number, 105,000 times. That is the insane improvement in hardware efficiency for running these models, just in the last decade. It's getting so much cheaper and faster to run incredibly powerful AI, which means it's becoming available to pretty much everyone.
And this quote just nails it perfectly. Think about it. We don't argue over who has the best electricity, do we? No, we compete by building amazing things using that electricity. The exact same thing is happening with AI. The real advantage isn't having the model, it's the clever application you build on top of it.
So, okay, if the model isn't the big secret sauce anymore, what is? Well, that brings us to our second big trend. It's all about how companies are actually using this new utility. The hype is all about these autonomous agents. You know, AI that can supposedly just think and act all on its own. But the data, it tells a totally different story. McKinsey found that fewer than 10% of companies have actually managed to get them to work at scale. The real action is happening in what we call structured workflows, where a human is still in the loop and AI is just helping with one specific step in a process. OpenAI says that's already 20% of enterprise use. So what does a workflow actually look like? Well, here's a perfect example from the pharmaceutical world. Instead of some AI agent trying to run the whole show, it's used for one specific, powerful task, analyzing mountains of raw clinical trial data. Then, a human expert, a scientist, comes in to check the results. You see, it's a partnership. And the results from this approach are just massive. We are talking about a 60% reduction in data prep time for drug companies, a 50% drop in call center costs for a utility, a 50% cut in engineering hours for a bank. These are real, tangible wins, and that's exactly why this workflow approach is taking off so fast. Okay, so we've got models as a utility and structured workflows as the way to use them. So what does all this mean for you, for the individual person trying to do their job? Well, this is where things get really, really interesting.
Just quarters of business users say that AI lets them do tasks they literally could not do before. This is so important. We're not just talking about being a little bit faster. We're talking about fundamentally expanding what a person is capable of.
And what kind of tasks are we talking about? Stuff that used to be super specialized. People in marketing are writing little automation scripts. Sales teams are building their own data dashboards. These were things that just a few years ago, you had to hire a specialist for. AI is becoming this great equalizer for technical skills. And that leads to a crucial point. If anyone can do the technical part, then what makes you valuable? It's your deep, unique knowledge of your field. It's your understanding of the customer, of the business, of all the tricky edge cases. Your judgment is becoming way more valuable than your ability to write code.
Now, so far, we've mostly talked about knowledge work, the world of bits and bytes on a screen. But the next big frontier for AI is moving out of the digital and into the physical world, the world of atoms.
And trust me, it is already happening. This number comes straight from Waymo's real-world data. Their self-driving cars are involved in 96% fewer crashes than human drivers in the same cities. And this isn't some test in a lab. This is real performance, at scale, on public roads.
But, and this is a big but, while specialized AI like that is crushing it, what about those humanoid robots we keep seeing in viral videos? Well, Professor Rodney Brooks from MIT gives us a bit of a reality check. He estimates we are at least 15 years away from them being a meaningful part of our lives.
So the key thing to remember for 2026 is this distinction. AI is scaling super fast and specialized physical jobs. Think robots in a warehouse or smart tractors on a farm. But that dream of a general-purpose robot that can, do your laundry and walk your dog, that's still firmly in the realm of science fiction for now.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. Models are a utility, workflows are how we're using them, your expertise is more valuable than ever, and AI is moving into the physical world in specific ways. How do you make sense of all this? We need a mental model, a practical framework.
And there's a brilliant term for this from Professor Ethan Mollick at Wharton. He calls it the jagged frontier. And what that means is that AI's ability is not some smooth, straight line going up. It's jagged. It's world-class at some things, like summarizing a complex article, and then it's shockingly bad at other things that seem simple to us. And you have no idea where that jagged line is until you actually test it for yourself.
This idea leads to a really clear action plan for you. Don't just read about AI. You have to get in there and actually map the jagged frontier for your own work. You have to experiment, see what it's great at, and see where it falls on its face. The only way to navigate this is to get your hands dirty and build your own library of what works.
And that really brings us to the most important takeaway of all. Because this frontier is always moving, the advantage doesn't go to the people who call themselves AI experts. It goes to the people and the companies that can learn the fastest through constant hands-on experimentation.